It is the Zach Sang Show.
Hi.
We got Heather. We got Dan. And we have the beautiful Iggy Azalea.
Hello.
Everybody in the corner. Clap for Iggy. How are you, beautiful?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm living life, feeling nice.
Well, that's good.
I'm not as good as you, though, right now.
I'm very good.
You got a brand new record
I
out.
have a brand new song.
How are you feeling about it?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Switch is a song. It's featuring Anita.
It's featuring Anita, yes.
Give me the story.
Of Anita Habayo.
The story of Switch.
The short story of Switch. Switch is a song I recorded back in early August. And I loved it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of who should sing on this song with me because I just really wanted to bring like another female energy. And I didn't really have any female collaborations yet on my album.
Uh-huh.
And I think people really enjoy me collaborating with other women, and I wanted to make sure I still did that. And so I was just kind of, oh my gosh, everybody's just over there just having a
Just
party.
chilling.
Yeah, so it's kind of just, I was thinking, who could go on it? Who could go on it? I couldn't find anybody. And then a friend of mine said, hey, have you seen this girl, Anita? She's from Brazil, but she's huge over there. And she's really cool. She has these awesome live shows where she like dances like crazy. And I checked her out on YouTube and I was like, wow, she's amazing.
She's pretty sweet.
She's pretty sweet. And so I hit her up and I asked her if she'd be interested in doing the song. And it just kind of worked out perfectly that it took a little bit of time to find the right girl because now I'm in the middle of summer and I think it's a very cool summer song and worked out perfectly.
Red light, yellow light, green light, switch.
Yes.
I went to your studio, which was the coolest experience ever.
Oh, thank you.
I got to, you played me a couple of your records.
I did.
Switch was one of them.
Yes.
There's like a female empowerment message here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
What is it exactly? I don't want to get it wrong.
It's basically like, it's basically a woman saying that she's in control of what she wants to do. It's her choice if it's no or if it's yes or if it's maybe.
And if it's maybe, you know. When the time is right.
She's basically the, Anita says, play your role. Like it's just basically a woman saying like, yeah, I'm the one in control of this, and it's up to me when you go and when you stop, and what we're doing here is up to me.
Takes two to tango.
Takes two to tango, but only one can lead, darling.
Wow.
Like that.
When was your album actually all written?
All written. I guess it's been done. Writing-wise, it's been fairly solidified and done since like November, actually. But
Okay.
I've been changing like little lines here and there up until about the end of January, and like things like the Anita feature didn't happen until late February. So there's like kind of been little bits and pieces, but in terms of it essentially being like written and the songs being done, give or take like a couple of lines or things that I was unhappy with or just sat with and felt like, oh, this could be better. I'd say it's been done since early November.
And there's
early December, sorry.
And there's a couple songs on the album that you really felt like it could be better. Like like I want you to kind of explain it too, is because what I've been able to read by just hearing you talk when you were going over your music, you have a song almost finished, and then you bring it to different producers, and you you give it to producers to kind of add their style and add flavor to it, or to punch it up, so to speak, right?
Yeah, I like to do that.
So, but you get the songs done maybe 80%, 85% before you give it to them? Like, is it different every time?
I don't know. I mean, I would send, like, for example, my song with Zed that I did, like, that song, I guess if somebody heard it would say, this is 100% finished. I mean, all the lyrics are done, the production's done, but it's kind of like, I guess I let him take an eraser to some of it, the parts he felt were necessary, if that makes sense. And kind of then we'll work on what could change about it and what should change about it. Usually it's production stuff.
Is it scary when somebody takes an eraser to your work?
No, because I can always just put it back.
Yeah. You're the one leading. You're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I mean, I never give something to someone and say, hey, what do you think about this? Like, maybe try new drums, and they do, and I hate them, and I'm like, well, these are the drums now. Like, if I don't like it, I'll say, no, those aren't the right ones, or try something else, or this just isn't working. Maybe what we have is the best product we're going to have. But I did that with a lot. I mean, my song with Boom Boom with Zed, I actually took that to Max Martin and went over to his camp, and we worked on it, just that song, for maybe like 2 weeks, and nothing that we came up with was really sticking. And then I ended up just going to Zed, and we kind of had a vibe, and we reproduced it, and it ended up great. But yeah, I do like to mix and mingle a little and see what's the best thing I can work out in the long run.
Are you disappointed after 2 weeks that nothing with Max Martin worked out?
No, because I love those guys. I write with them a lot, and that's just how it is. Sometimes it's just not the right song. Sometimes you can play something and someone straight away has a melody or has an idea or knows what they want to do, and other times it's just not connecting with the group of people. So that's just part of songwriting.
That song Boom Boom, I don't even know if it had a name when I heard that record.
I mean, I just call it Boom Boom because I can't think of a better name. But
I like it.
Is it on you to think of every title to every song?
Oh yeah, I would never let someone else name my songs.
No. They're your children.
Yeah, that's weird. That's like letting someone else name your dog or something. You just wouldn't.
Not a thing.
No.
What kind of stories are you telling on this new album? Like, are you going to address all the things that are going on in your life and all the crap that people give you?
Yeah, I mean, I have 1 or 2 songs where I do talk about that. One of them's with YG called Elephant that I think kind of pretty much sums it up and says everything that I needed to say. In the beginning, when I started this recording process, I had a lot more songs about it. And then as I kind of went on, like, you know, while you're going through the recording process, you can end up having 40 or 50 songs. And it's like, you know what, do I need 5 songs on a 14-track album to talk about the same thing when I can say it really well in 1 or 2?
Yep.
I don't.
Yeah.
So for me, I think the choice was made that I would rather have more of a spectrum of topics to talk about instead of just, well, let's talk about these people. It's like, well, I do talk about it. It's something that affected my life for some time, and I do talk about it. And YG kind of talks about on the song the things that affect him or that he wants to sort of get off his chest, his frustrations, and it's a really cool record. But other than that, I guess it's kind of like there's a lot of being single, or sometimes I talk about heartbreak and just a good old twerk song here and there never kind of goes astray.
But there's a real variety, right? So the songs that you played me, and I heard about 4 of them. Everything is different, but everything kind of feels
fits,
Iggy.
But everything's different. Yeah, it's definitely not just like a bunch of songs that are just like talking trash.
No.
Yeah, they're about stuff. Some are just talking trash, and others are about things.
When you're talking trash on a record, right?
I have to. Come on, I'm a rapper,
right?
I mean,
Are you still at this point looking for acceptance from the hip hop community, or are you kind of just?
No, I really don't feel like I ever was. It would be lovely to have any kind of acceptance from them. It's really great, but it's not that I'm not looking for it because I don't feel like they're important or influential. They're very influential in the things that I do. And growing up, you know, I'm a hip hop fan, but for me, I just feel like I'm trying to do something else, and I like to blend musical styles, and I'm not really necessarily looking like to be that hip hop head or to make that traditional rap music. So maybe if I was, I would care a lot more about validation from that particular style, but I'm not really looking for validation from any particular group of music, whether it be pop or electronic music or rap music. I don't really care. I just want to make good music that people like to listen to. And I think that's the great thing about all the different platforms and ways that we listen to music now, is that it's sort of less about what format things fit into, and I love to mix my formats and things, and whatever kid likes it, that's who likes it. That's
as long as it's good, man.
Exactly.
That's it. Do you feel like the music industry obviously changing, but
of course,
the consumption rate of music is higher than ever?
It's very high.
It's crazy.
It's hard to keep up with.
As an artist, better or worse for your craft?
I mean, I guess worse.
If you had to pick one.
Worse. If I had to pick, I'd pick worse.
Yeah.
Music loses its value. If you could just consume real quick and then move right on to the next?
Yeah, I mean, a great project takes a really long time. It's funny because I remember when I was younger consuming music, it would be very normal for somebody to take 2 years in between an album usually, and that was the kind of standard amount of time.
And you dealt with it.
Now it's like, oh my God, it's been 2 years. Is she dead? Did you die?
Still here.
Yeah, and it's like, no, I'm just trying to curate a project. It takes a while to make their body of work, which is always way more than what you actually need to take, and then to sort of decide what it is that you want to talk about and what you don't, and fix those things. Sometimes you might pick 14 songs and you're like, okay, cool, well, 6 of these still need work on production or could have a better pre-chorus, and then you start down that path that can take months. So I think I don't know, it's a tough one. People kind of see like people on SoundCloud or YouTube it's very instantaneous, and then feel like, well, everybody's projects can be that fast, and it's sort of like, no. Really great ones take a while.
That's it. And now you have people who are like focusing on maybe one album, but then staggering the release 4 songs at a time.
Yes, they do that. I wouldn't mind doing that actually, but I think other labels are a little bit more like up to speed than some in different styles of music and things like that. And I think people are starting to like catch on now, especially like label and the people that are more on the professional or business side, I guess, of the spectrum when it comes to artists. I think that they're starting to understand that it is about content or doing things in a more non-traditional way. But I don't think it's like something where we're going to be left behind like we were with YouTube or the Spotify and streaming type things. But I think we'll be okay with the way that record labels are catching on. But it is taking
a little bit
of time, but not a dangerous amount of time to adjust. Yeah.
Do you need to keep business and art separate for you? Because you're on both sides of it very heavily, more than a lot of other artists that we talk to.
Yeah, I'm pretty heavy on both.
Yeah. I mean, obviously on the art side, but you're in the business side. You're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Do you need to have a mental divide?
I mean, I don't think I do have a mental divide. Sometimes I'll get emails and they're like, you can't write mean emails to people because it ruins morale. And I'm like, but I also have to because I have to do my business. I can't just make the songs and
then let them go.
I have to see it all the way through. No, I don't think there's a separation. Sometimes I do make decisions that have nothing to do with creativity. A lot of the times as a businesswoman. But,
okay.
I think that's just me not being emotional about things and sometimes having to crunch numbers and say, all right, everything can't be a passion project. I would only make music that I loved. I would never create something for business. But sometimes, the planning of how a song's rolled out or what you promote or what you don't can definitely have to do with business and not be so emotional.
And I also think that there's an art to it, right? Getting it right, doing it right.
Oh, it's hard to do it right.
Yeah.
I try.
That was nice. It was like just a beautiful shot. Slow motion, good. Real nice.
When you're making decisions, whether it's like outfits, lyrics, videos, do you have like in the back of your mind, like, people are going to hate on this because it's me and people love to hate on me? Or do you just not acknowledge that anymore?
No, that's really not something I think about when I no, I don't think there's any. I'm just trying to, my only hesitation there was like, well, is there any part of it that I really think about that or consider? I don't think there is a part of me that really considers that. I know that they will no matter what. Like if I breathed, then they would. So I just kind of don't really consider that.
Do you think there's like anything you can do that's like to get people to stop? Like
no.
Why
I
you
don't
though?
Think there is.
But why? Why do you need to please them?
Well, you don't, but like they always focus, like they always pick her apart and criticize her, and it's like, at what point are they just going to give up on it?
I don't know. I don't think I've spent a while, like I've had that conversation a lot with people where they'll be like, well, what could you do to like rectify the problem? And I'm like, I don't think there's anything I could do, because I think the reason why you don't like me is probably because I rap, or maybe you don't like that I rap in an American accent, or maybe you don't like that I'm from another country, or you just think my music's crap, but you just don't like it, period, or you don't like the way I dress, or you feel I'm too sexualized. There could be a lot of reasons why somebody doesn't like me. but I can't really go out and like give the apology tour for it and then keep doing the same thing. It would be a bit pointless.
Then why should you?
Yeah, you can't apologize for being you.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's sort of like, oh, well, will they stop? I don't know. Probably not, because I'm not going to stop. And I also can't really apologize for that because it just is me, and I'm not going to stop doing that. So therefore, I couldn't be sorry about it.
We're talking about like hate on like the foundation of who she is. Like,
exactly.
You know, what are you gonna do? Change yourself for everybody?
Yeah, exactly.
There's gonna be 1,000 different versions of you.
Can't go out and be like, sorry for rapping. Here's a rap song. Are we good? Like, no.
Funny.
Now, I also just saw somebody was tweeting to you about features, and you responded, "I have to be asked to do one for that to happen." Are like people not reaching out to you to work with you? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, I just think it's funny. A lot of times fans will tweet stuff like, well, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? You should be doing that. And it's like, well, maybe I'm not invited to do it. Like, why didn't you go to the party? I'm like, I don't even know that person. How would I be invited? Like, things like that. It will be funny. I kind of will get the blame for like, you didn't do this. And I'm like, well, I can't just like, what am I supposed to
Show
do?
up?
Like, go up to the Def Jam building and be like, whose album's coming out? I'm getting on it. Like, you know, so somebody has to think of you, that they think that you're right for the song, and they have to give you a call and they have to ask, and that's it. That's my control of how many features I do. That's the only way it happens. I can't just cold call people like I'm trying to get you to vote for governor and be like, hi, I'm Iggy Azalea, do you have any songs with me? You know, I can't do that.
Have you ever turned down a feature?
Yes, I've turned down features. Yeah, sometimes it's a great song, it's just not the right song, or sometimes, like, you know, last year I really wanted to take a year off, and I felt like I had heard my voice on the radio a lot for a good year or two, and I think there was a lot of oversaturation, and I kind of felt like I needed to take a step back, and I needed to let people miss me a little bit. And so I didn't even want to do any features with anybody, and I was asked, but I just felt like it was better to not have my voice at all for a little bit while I decided what it was that I wanted to do and what I wanted my sound to be, because otherwise people attach what you do to that collaboration, and it's like, okay, well then I'm going to have a persona that is really attached to other people's personas, and if I'm trying to do something new or evolve, that doesn't really help in that process. So for that reason, I didn't for the last 2 years, besides with the exception of Demi only, because she's such a close friend. I was like, how could I say no? She'll kill me. So I did do that, and it was a great song, but that was it for me. And now I'm kind of just getting back out there. But yeah, no one yet, but I'm sure I'll get some calls.
Maybe this will start it.
I'm sure I will. I mean, yeah, this is like, I've had Mo Bounce, and now this. It's like kind of, I'm sort of just warming myself up again. And
that year of like silence, right? Or that break, you become one with yourself, and you were also going through a ton of shit, man. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Like you were just like swimming through it.
I was in the thick of it.
Like when work doesn't matter for a year and you're able to just become one with yourself. Yeah. What is the first thing that you do?
I love to ride my horses. That's probably my number one hobby. I have 3 horses, and I like to do cross country and show jumping and eventing. So that's probably the main thing that I do when I'm not doing like anything music related. And I also have a production company, and we have a deal with NBC Universal. So Sweet. I spent a lot of time in my year off developing scripted and non-scripted television shows.
That's awesome.
You're going to start to see come out probably in the next year or so, because it just takes so long.
The process is crazy.
It's a really, really long, drawn-out process. But yeah, I got a couple of things going on with that we're, you know, working on developing, and so I think I focused a lot of time on that, reading a lot of books, buying the rights to a lot of books that I liked, and turning them into scripted things.
That's awesome.
I still was definitely doing creative things, but not so much musical creative things, because I just didn't feel like I was in that headspace to want to go and sit in a studio for a while. I kind of just wanted to get out and just change my focus to something else for a while, so that I could kind of let some of my, I think, frustrations with things simmer down. And it was really hard to go in the studio and not talk about anything than the things that I was frustrated about, because it was just sort of consuming my everyday, and I just needed to mentally put my energy towards something else so that it could become something that didn't make me emotional or frustrated anymore, and then get back to having a clear head and writing songs about things that I think people can relate to, because I know that people want to hear what I have to say about some of the things I've gone through, and I definitely do talk about it in the album, but also I kind of like live life under a microscope, and I have a very strange life that maybe a lot of people can't identify with, and I still wanted to make sure that I could talk about other subjects that are relatable to everybody, no matter what you do, not just, I get chased by the paparazzi and it's so weird you were talking about me all the time. Like, everybody can't identify with that.
But you did, right? Like you made songs that were relatable, and there's a song that I don't know if your friend is still going to feature on it or not.
We shall see.
Let's see. I won't say who it is. I don't want to jinx it. It's out there, knocking on the wood. But there's a record out that is about your breakup, and it's about everything that happened. And at the core of it, right? You're going through something that everybody else has gone through.
Exactly.
There's paparazzi, and it's all under a microscope. But all that away, like the brass tacks, like at the bottom of it all, it's exactly what millions and millions.
Yes,
and millions
it's the same
people.
thing.
Yeah, same shit.
Same shit.
How are you doing now with it?
With my breakup? Oh, I'm so good. It's crazy. I moved house in July, and we're coming up to June now because it's about to be my birthday. I'm like, wow, that was almost a year ago. Time really flies. But I've been having a good old time. I'm good. Yeah. I don't really think about it much. Should I be thinking about?
No.
I feel like you shouldn't think about that like a year later, because I don't ever.
No, have you
at all?
Have you ever talked? Like, have you talked since you moved out?
No.
That's good.
No communication on that one.
Wow.
I mean, there was nothing else to
say.
What do you say?
Yeah, it's over.
After that,
it's action. No
you
more
kind
words.
of can't really take that back. So there wasn't much to say.
No. Wow. And moving out, are you living alone? Do you have dogs?
I've been living alone. I moved last August into my new house, so I've been in my new house for a while now with my 2 dogs that I live with out in Calabasas, and I love it. It's really just my favorite. I love it. It's the best.
And do you have horses on your property in Calabasas?
No, they live in a stable that's only like 10 minutes away. So
okay,
it's
cool.
super, super close. But I just think it's nicer for them to be with other horses and be able to have their little horse socialization.
They run the horse group. They're all hanging.
They have a horse squad. And they're doing their thing.
They chill.
They're good. Yeah.
Switch is the current single out right now. It's featuring Anita.
It is.
The hook is great. Red
Thank
light,
you.
yellow light, green light, switch.
Yep.
Feels good, man. What motivates you to keep going?
I guess I just love it. I don't know. I feel like I've been doing this since I was a kid. Like, I just love making things and making crazy videos and dressing up and just having fun. And I think being from a really small town, for me, I would get very sucked into music videos or movies and things like that because there wasn't much going on where I lived.
Yeah.
And so kind of my escapism and imagination was always sparked by those things. And I guess it kind of still is now, or maybe it's a little bit full circle where I definitely take pleasure doing those things, but I also like to do them and think about other kids, or I'll love when people or teenagers will come up to me and be like, wow, what was that real? How did you make that happen? And
that's awesome.
I used to have the same questions that I would have loved if I could meet any of the artists whose videos I watched or whose songs I'd listened to, or fantasizing about what their life must be like and how fabulous and amazing it was. And I just spent a lot of time daydreaming about those kinds of things. So I just kind of get a kick out of being able to do that for other people now as my job. Is kind of the coolest job you could have, I think.
Full circle.
Exactly, definitely.
With all this going on, do you ever see yourself giving this up fully?
Well, one day I will. I will give up music eventually, of course. Yes, I'll stop. But I think I'll probably transition more into making my, the film and television things that I do. And for me, starting that company was more about like really establishing something that I know is going to take many years to be respected. And I hope, I plan to be here for at least like another 5 or 6 years making music, but I like to multitask a lot, and I hope by the time that I'm done with that, I already have something very established in that other arena, because I don't really see myself as being the kind of like woman that is like has a clothing line or is doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I think that's great for people that are into it, but I really am more interested in telling stories
That's
and
awesome.
telling stories visually, and I like to do all the pre-production, and I'm interested in sitting in an editing suite and going over the color correction. Like I like to do those things more than I'm interested in fashion things or lending my name to that kind of thing. For me, isn't really in the creative spectrum of things that I'm interested in. So I would love to end up doing something like that.
Well, it's cool when you're able to like create and give ideas to a project that isn't you, like physically and mentally.
Well, you can do so much.
And all you. Yeah.
Some of the projects they're just like so far from anything to do with me.
But that's great.
And I love that.
Yeah, right.
It's awesome. And it's great. I mean, I have a phone call every Monday. I get on the call and we'll talk about like where we're at with this, where we're at with this and this and this. And I mean, the spectrum is crazy. Like we have like an animated movie we're doing that is geared towards kids.
That's
I have
awesome.
a hilarious show with Kevin Hart that we created together that's kind of like a game showy type
cool.
thing. I have scripted shows. One we're trying to do called Girl Plans. It's like about a young girl that's like aspiring to be a woman president. She interns for a really right-wing Republican thing, but she's kind of a little too liberal for it, and it's just really hilarious, like satire.
And
Kind of like a younger Veep, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd describe it in
Okay.
that it's funny and political, but it's it's not
I
like
see
highbrow.
I see the
necessarily.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like there's so many different things that I do in that arena, and it's just really fun getting to like with my music. I'm me. I do Iggy Azalea every day. So it's cool getting to do all of the other stuff and talk about things that are just completely unrelated to you, but also really awesome and interesting and.
Feels
Yeah,
good.
It's good. It's fun.
Last question. I was
Yes.
watching like the behind the scenes of your music video for Switch.
Yes.
How much butt prep? Like how long? How long does it take to prep the butt? I mean, it's gorgeous.
Oh my
like
God, so
I-
long.
right?
So long, she says.
I mean, there's layers of just. I feel like a lot. Like I'm not saying like you don't have
How
a
do you get
naturally.
your butt that smooth?
yeah,
Oh,
it's so smooth. It's so tan.
Do you
It's.
girls really want to know?
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
a
we
Hollywood
do.
secret.
Share the product with me.
All right, I'll share it with you. But once I tell you, you're all going to know what all the girls are doing in Hollywood. What you do is,
Is it car wax?
it's not. It's actually you. Should I tell them, Iggy? Should I tell them? What you have to do if you want the perfect butt on stage and everywhere else, which is probably why you see us girls on stage and everyone's butt looks perfect, and then you go to the beach and you're like, wait, you're a human.
Yeah, right.
What happened? Well, you're a superhero. How you get a superhero butt is, firstly, you put all your body makeup on. You know, you put your Sally Hansen leg spray or whatever it is.
Every
all the
day?
girls
Every
know
day?
that you put your spray on pantyhose,
Okay.
shimmer. You do your layer of that, and then you have to get. You know how like in beauty pageants or muscle woman pageants, they have like a special glue that is used to stick on your swimsuits and stuff like that.
No, but now I know.
Well, they do. You put it all over your legs and your butt. Your entire.
You're all glued.
It's like a very tacky. I guess I'd describe it as like a. Have you ever done a craft project?
Yes.
Well, my butt is a craft project. Like where you spray glue and it gets tacky. It's a glue that's kind of like that. You spray it, and then you put on a pair of like extremely, almost non-existent sheer tights, and it creates this. Like, you know, when you put on a pair of like pantyhose and you're like, oh my God, all of a sudden my legs look so skinny, they look so great, but they're shiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you use it, like the It Stays muscle woman glue, then it takes the shine off. You're not shiny anymore.
and
It
it
looks like
looks-
skin.
Oh wow.
Alright.
And
It's all
that
smooth.
that's how you get the perfect legs.
Wow.
but it doesn't work. It doesn't really work in real life. Like, girls, I don't think you can't go to the club like that. It only works like on a stage environment or in a music video, where you are being
where there's a lot of distance between you and everybody else around you.
It's very sticky. But luckily it's water soluble, so it's not like you're peeling your tights off. Like, literally you have a spray bottle, you go it comes straight off.
Imagine this is the thing.
It's no more. It's a secret of Hollywood I just gave away.
Wow.
This weekend, all of the ladies are going to be,
Gonna be out. Like, where is that glue where they used to stick on their costume?
all the CVS's across the country, all sold
It's a
out of
good
Muscle
one.
Woman glue.
It works though. No, it really works wonders. I will say.
So for my next music video, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready
So
to
next
go.
time you want to shoot a video, you got a photo shoot. That's the secret.
Do we have a date for the album set?
I think it's supposed to be your June 30th, 31 ish.
30 days of September, April, June.
June
Yeah.
31st, is that correct?
June 30th.
June 30th.
I don't think there's a 31st in June.
Oh, I don't
I
know.
think it only goes to 30.
29, 30, June 30. Yes.
June 30th, the album drops.
It's June 30th.
Do you have a name?
Yes, it's called Digital Distortion.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Digital Distortion drops June 30th. Switch is the single featuring Anita.
Changed to muscle glue.
We wore tons of muscle girl glue in the video. It was very sticky.
Does it bother you when paparazzi take pictures of you at the beach?
Yes, I hate it. It's the worst.
She's not wearing her muscle glue. So
Obviously, I don't put glue on my legs to go to the
Oh my God,
beach.
imagine all the sand. Oh, it's my worst
Everywhere.
nightmare.
Can you imagine my legs would just be white with sand? They'd be like, what is going on with her? Why is it sticking to her so much? Yeah, I hate it. I absolutely do hate it. I do hate it. Just because, like, if you're at the beach and you're running around doing a million things and playing water sports and stuff, like, obviously maybe out of 100 pictures, and it's the same way in a photo shoot. Like, we take hundreds of pictures in a photo shoot. You guys see like 3 of them, the 3 that like you weren't going like in, and so when you're like swimming, trying to like balance on a surfboard,
You never
or
look
you're
good.
jumping off a boat, you don't look good. It's just all awkward angles, all weird. It's in the 12 o'clock at day, the sun's beating down on you. Like, there's just no love.
right?
There's just no love in that. There is no joy.
I gotta give you credit for going back to the beach afterwards, because after that happened to me once, I don't go to the beach now because I'm afraid of myself.
I'm afraid of myself too. Trust me, I'm like.
I mean, after there's people with cameras, you got credit,
it's
dude.
Tough, yeah. It's rough at the beach. It is.
Iggy Azalea, a lot of love for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah, no,
it means
of
a
course,
lot.
of course.
You're fun.